Welcome Summoners, I'm Coach Eags, multi-season challenger player now coach, and in the next 10 minutes or so you will know the 10 best champions you can hard carry a game on from the mid lane. As we all know, the mythic and legendary items are dictating the landscape of League. What champions are OP, what champions are D tier, so our picks are those champions that synergize off the charts with the new items. We'll be throwing in a few cheeky tips and tricks along the way, so if you do or don't play these champions you will have a greater understanding of how to make use of their kit and dominate. Let me know in the comments which mid laner you've been having success with so far in the pre-season. Before we unveil the top 10, do not forget to check out Gameleap.com. There is no better website to learn the ins and outs of Summoner's Rift than our very own. Join thousands of others and get signed up today so you can benefit from the hundreds of challenger courses, guides and videos we have to offer. Links in the description and comment section. Now when I say carry mid laners, I'm referring to those champions that can get one kill early on and snowball out of control, so you don't really have to rely on your teammates as much. Now I know you're interested for sure. But some champions take too long to come online and don't make it to their carry spike in time because their bot lane is already 0-10 at 10 minutes. Some, however, can hard carry regardless of how much your teammates have been paid to lose. And coming in at number 10 we have Talon. Talon is one of the best snowballing mid laners in the game, right? If you like dominating lane from level 2 onwards, then you will love this bloke. As the Blade Shadow, you have high kill pressure once you have your W, Rake, and Q Noxian Diplomacy. In the early game, the key is to play towards your passive, Blade's End. Each time you damage an enemy champion with an ability, you apply a wound stack, and at 3 stacks, your next basic attack consumes these and causes the target to bleed over time. Now, you can actually tell how many stacks a champion has copped by the indicator at the base of their character model. Important to note that each part of your Rake counts as 1 stack, and your Noxian Diplomacy counts as 1 more. So if you land both parts of your Rake and Q onto your opponent, you can then consume the 3 applied stacks by auto-attacking, and you can do this instantly. One trick is that you can flash before casting your W to catch your enemy off guard with a standard WQ auto combo, and you can also flash before your Rake returns to ensure it lands. When you get to level 6, your kill pressure is at its peak. You don't just want to sit mid clearing waves playing with yourself though. Look to use your ultimate as much as possible by shoving waves and hunting down your opponents in the jungle and other lanes. One of your goals is to win mid of course, but how about winning the rest of the map? Get your head roaming. Sliding into number 9, like the video as well by the way, we have Diana. Now Diana has always been an underrated mid pick. With a kill in hand, she can become one of the hardest to deal with. I mean, I played against a master Diana main last night in Clash who smoked my mid laner and no one could touch her after 10 minutes. It was one of those get me out dude games. As the Scorn of the Moon, what a name that is, whenever your Q lands it's go time. This afflicts that champion with Moonlight and you consume this effect when you Lunar Rush to the same target. This will put your E back on a 0.5 second cooldown so you can use it again almost immediately. Now, one trick. You want to use all of your basic abilities in the first few levels with your passive, right? So you can auto-attack the minions twice and then Q, W, and E onto your opponent, and your next basic attack is empowered and becomes a cleave because it's the 3rd one. This will maximize your DPS and you will burst your enemies back to base. Your power really skyrockets when you get your ultimate Moonfall. The common use is to R after dashing onto a champion when your Q lands, but you might also want to think about ulting to start your combo with your flash. Simply press R and flash immediately after. This will catch any opponent off guard. Also try this with Rocket Belt as well. It is a belter. Rumbling in at number 8, how did you guess? It's Rumble. Not sure if you guys have noticed, but Rumble is featured much more in the mid lane in the pre-season, and is one of the most oppressive mid laners in the game, so this might be right up your alley. Into melee matchups, burn them alive with your Flame Spitter when they walk too close. A little trick is to keep tapping the S key or the stop key so you stay facing your target. When you click from side to side, the AoE of your Q will miss the enemy champion and you miss out on important damage. The biggest mechanic to master on Rumble is keeping your heat at around 50 unless you want a hard push or all in with a max heat ultimate or Flame Spitter. The reason for this is because you have constant pressure in the lane. You are always sitting on that all-in potential. Your opponent will be thinking, is this Rumble going to run at me here? And he might back off. Or they might be thinking, well, I can't go on this Rumble because his Q will chunk me to half HP. So they play really passive and give up priority in the lane. Manage that temperature. Too cold, you pack no punch. Too hot, you can't punch. Keep it perfectly balanced and you will start to equalize your way to wins. We had to have one of the half brothers on here, didn't we? At number 7, it's Yonay. Maybe you're fed up with Yasuo, or you just have a fetish for bandages on topless dudes, or you might be interested in hard carrying your backwards teammates to the finish line. As Yonay, you have that carry potential. You can get harassed early on, alright, I hear you, but when you hit level 3, you can start trading with your opponent opponent and putting them in the dirt. You want to be using your E, Soul Unbound, as much as you can. It's your most reliable way of getting in, dishing out the damage, and snapping back to safety without taking too much in return. I tell you what else you can do. Combine the dash at the start of your E with your whirlwind. You cover more ground with more pace and can catch your enemy with the knock-up. Get an auto in, hit them with your W, and give them a prod with another Q. They won't be happy. Also, you won't get touched and you take half of their health. Not bad, right? Like every other champion on this list, Yonay pops off after level 6. When you have Fate sealed in the locker, you also want to be starting these combos off with your E. You can E over a wall, from Fog of War, from a brush, wherever it will be safe to return to, and then you can R onto your target. This has decent range and you can catch farming AD carries off guard and go huge in late game teamfights. To be honest, once you're in the fray, just smash your head against your keyboard, you'll be fine. Someone said in the comments to one of our videos to stop mentioning Lucian in our top champion lists. At the number 6 spot, it is the most oppressive mid laner in League of Legends, the Purifier Lucian. I understand, right? I really do. He's hard to play and there aren't many people in silver, gold, plat who can play Lucian at a high level. Sorry I went there, I know. However, when you master this champion, mid lane becomes a platform to impose your power from. You always have pressure in the lane and your level 2 is deadly. As soon as you level up, skill your E and jump onto your opponent. Making use of your passive in between abilities is crucial because it enhances your damage. You never want to be just Eing and Qing at the same time. Some players will be super scared of you and play at Fountain because they know how dangerous you are early on. If this is the case, then look to chip away their health bar by queuing through minions. The laser travels through the minion in a line. Your goal is to angle yourself so this line hits the enemy champion. If you look to exploit your incredibly strong early game on Lucian, there's no reason why you can't take over games by beaming your enemy out of mid. Now we're getting down to it, the top 5. The 5th spot on our countdown is held by Jace. Start playing this John Harm lookalike and you will be fighting for a brighter tomorrow for sure. Get your hammer out and start giving your opponents the left right good night. Alright, it's not that easy, relax. When level 2 rocks up, you can use 4 abilities in the space of a second. Well, 5 if you include pressing R. In range form, Q and immediately E right in front of you. When you do this, it's extremely hard for the enemy to anticipate the shock blast and dodge it. You can then switch to the big bad hammer, run through the gate for the extra movement speed, and belt them over the head with your Q and then your E. One flashy trick that will make John Harm proud is to use your E with flash to knock your opponent back. After you Q onto them, input your E and flash behind the champion straight away to crack them back into your jungler. He will be proud for sure. I'll leave you with this one. If you want access to steroid Jace before you switch to your hammer form, press W in your range form so you get the bonus attack speed, and when you jump onto the enemy champion, bang bang bang, then knock them away. This is actually pretty toxic because you also get mana back each time you auto them. The DPS is crazy, and Jace is one of the best picks to 1v9 with, so pick him up. Hitting the number 4 spot, we have Katarina. Level 1, you might be the worst champion in League. Quite the sell, isn't it? But hey, you become one of the best, one of the elite at taking 1 kill and making it 20. Now when you have all your basic abilities at level 3, it's time to start making use of all your mobility and daggers. You know what the best cat players do that a lot don't? They auto attack as part of their combos. And if you're a Chad and going AD Katarina, then it's even more important to do so. Remember, your Shumpo resets your basic attack timer, meaning you can immediately auto attack after Eing. This is extremely useful if you are running Electrocute or Conqueror because you get to the power in the rune a lot quicker. You can also E before your dagger actually drops and auto attack as soon as you end up behind the enemy champion. After stabbing them in the back, you can then choose whether to continue the trade or E to safety. So play around your daggers and cooldowns, but make sure to incorporate those cheeky auto attacks into your combinations. Our number 3 spot is held by another AP assassin. You know, the one with a shroud that has a million dashes and you just can't kill her? Yeah, Arcali is the bronze medalist. Mechanically, she is hard to truly master, believe it or not. It's just that she does so much damage so quickly that anyone can start playing her and pick up some fat W's. In your early game, look to harass melee champions with your Q and passive, and if you land your E, it's all guns blazing. You get another passive basic attack in there, and you can get close to 12 stacks of Conqueror. Against ranged champions, it's more difficult to find kill opportunities, so just chill, take it easy, save all that energy, literally, for your level 6 all in. You want to be using the first part of your perfect execution to gap close to your opponent, and then E as you flip over them. After doing a bit of gymnastics, wait a second before Eing back onto the target because you want to combo your next flurry of abilities without interruption. Your recast of perfect execution cannot be used for 2.5 seconds since the first use. So bide your time and then E, auto attack, Q, and then use your second ult. You get a kill and you are on your way to the enemy nexus. to win, that is. The final two, the cream of the crop. These two champions could honestly be 1A and 1B, but it wouldn't be a real countdown, so the number 2 spot is held this time by Zed, the best AD assassin of the bunch. Once you get to level 3, all of a sudden every enemy champion you are in range of is a potential kill. If you can land both of your Razor Shurikens when you W and E, you will proc Electrocute and your passive damage on your auto attack. If you make it to this point and don't stylish your Qs to Mars, it's harder to not kill the enemy champion. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with this by now. Level 6. Now it is time to unleash. I see lots of low elo Zed players, even some in higher elo, try to be way too flashy with their Death Mark combos. You're not going to impress your ego when you start missing everything, alright? When you ulti onto someone, do not chuck a fit and go nuts with your keys. It's a lot easier to land your shurikens when you are not going from one side of the screen to the other. So you either A, use your shurikens as soon as you appear behind the target in tandem with your E, or B, hold onto your Q until the enemy has dashed or flashed away. Or maybe they don't even do that, and you can then W and Q to hit the triple shuriken combo. OMG. Zed may be a difficult champion to play for sure, but more often than not, less is more. The peak of the carry mid lane is the number 1, that's right, it's AP Shaco. Sorry, I just had to throw my Jester some love. The real hash one is Fizz. This little blue fella. I make him sound like a smurf when I say that, don't I? Anyway, yeah, Fizz is the ultimate 1v9er. Your early game might not be as strong as others on this list, but any good Fizz player can pick up kills before their all-important power spike at level 6. Try to clip your opponent with your E in the early lane, and make sure to use your W after you auto-attack a first time to pump out another one almost instantaneously. If you get into a sticky situation, you can always Q through a minion to escape. When level 6 comes knocking, be ready to skill your ultimate as soon as that number pops up. The key to landing Chum the Waters is to disguise it almost. You don't want to make it too obvious. One of the best ways to conceal your animation is by queuing through a minion and ulting as you dash. The animation is hidden and is very hard to detect unless you know about this trick. Once you have the keys to the mid lane, it's time to unlock the rest of the map, so get roaming and start splashing on Fizz, the number 1. 10 champs, 10 carries, what are you guys waiting for? Go ahead and start causing chaos this preseason with any of the picks we suggested, you will have a blast. Before I go, I'm going to tell you one more time, Gameleap.com. Do not close your browser without checking out our site. Thousands have already signed up, so why don't you? You will have no regrets, trust me, especially because I'm on there. This has been Coach Cheeks, and until next time, peace.